Yeah.
Say it again.
Yeah.
Underrated, mate.
Young, black, and gifted. We do it for the culture.
This is the Young, Black, and Gifted Podcast, and I'm your faithful, dedicated host, Underrated, and I'm back. I know y'all getting tired of me yet? Because listen, we gonna get to some things, man. But today I got a guest here, man, and this young man, he has I think he's been very impactful. If he hasn't been, he has the opportunity to become very impactful and influential for our youth. Here at the Young, Black, and Gifted Podcast, we take pride on lifting our youth up, telling their stories of success and encouraging them to continue forward. So this young man, I think he epitomizes everything of that the Young, Black, and Gifted Podcast and network stands for. So I had to sit down with this guy. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let my guy go ahead and introduce himself, and then we're going to get into that. What's going on with you, man?
Man, what's up, y'all, man? I'm ERIC WILLIS III, you know me. I'm from Collindale, PA. I'll be around, play for a few teams. But yeah, I'm here to talk to the youth, let them know what's up, man.
Word. So I like I said, man, I had the opportunity to see your growth, and I was aware during your youth years, became very aware, just like a lot of people during your high school years, and here we are now that you're in college, following your career. And me being from Darby, which isn't too far from where you are, where you say you're from, I'm pretty sure within that whole area you had the support of the town and the community, and you could feel it, man. So, like I said, I just wanted to catch up with you, get to tell your story a little bit, and I think that your perspective would be it'll be very helpful to a lot of the young men and young ladies who watch the Young, Black, and Gifted Podcast.
For sure.
So my first question for you, Eric, is talk to me about, obviously we have you here because of your success, not only in football, but you have some success on the track field, but mainly football here. And that's kind of like the premise of my last few interviews has been youth football teams, players, and coaches.
Okay.
But I want to ask you, I want to start from the beginning. I want people to I want these young guys to be able to see that they are Eric Willis. You follow me? The things that Eric Willis has accomplished and he has yet to accomplish, so too can they. You follow me? So my first question for you is, what introduced you to the game of football? How did you come to it?
Yeah, it was actually my goddad.
Okay.
My goddad, he actually introduced me to the game, and ever since, man, I didn't fall in love with football. Like, it was just, that's all it's been. It's been working. Football. That's all it ever was. Like,
how old would you say you were how old would you say you think you were?
I was like 6 or 7.
Wow.
6 or 7.
Wow.
I was 5. Oh, actually, my mom said I was 5.
5?
She knew.
Shout out my dudes.
I was 5. Okay.
And you've been doing it the entire time.
I've been doing it the entire time, man.
Word.
Hey.
So you talked about doing it. So did you automatically, was your first experiences, was it automatically like, what do you call it? Was it automatically on a football team, or did you work your way into the sport itself?
It was like more kind of like automatically, but I started from a position like, beginner's position. So I basically started on the line, actually. I played center as a kid.
Wow.
And for Collindale Bulldogs, I actually played center. And for a while, I was actually playing the line and, just getting familiar with the game, not just being skillful, running the ball, catching the ball, but I had to learn the basics of the game first before
Absolutely.
I could get there. And I could say, myself, I could see my growth going up, because I would say, like, when I was younger, I didn't feel as though I was like that. I wouldn't say I wasn't good, but I wasn't there yet. Like, I was still learning and growing and, still trying to find my way within the game. So I could definitely see the growth, and I could definitely see it, like,
So what teams what teams did you play on that for your youth? Was it always Collindale?
So I played for 3. I played for Collindale, I played for Cowlin, and I played for Springfield.
So yeah. Okay. Collindale, I think I could kind of remember a little bit of Collindale. Cowan makes sense also. And I figured it was maybe a third team, but I was maybe thinking Sharon Hill, but Springfield, was that like towards your later years? Was Springfield towards your later year? Okay.
Later year.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. What would you say? So you started the game early, learned the game early, which I think is important, especially being skilled, just understanding that. And I think I would say even in your position at wide receiver, slot receiver, right? That understanding the duties and the responsibilities of your teammates, it makes you very aware and it makes you very dangerous on the field because you can see the game from a different aspect. So having the opportunity to learn the game at an early age, I think is a great thing also for all people, for all youth.
Sure.
Talk to me about some of your most memorable moments as a youth. Like, I don't care, whatever it is, touchdown, special game, championship, anything. Talk to me about some of them.
All right. I could say, let's say, all right, let me give one for every team. Like Collindale.
Okay.
My most memorable moment was like playing Kyle Wynn. Okay. That was, my cousin, I don't know if you know his name, Brian, but he played for Kyle Wynn. He was a little older. He was like older. So those are my memorable moments. And my cousin Breon, he played too.
Oh yeah, Breon played on my team. Yeah, I know Breon.
So we was going against them, like, clashing heads. That was definitely like one of my favorite moments, at least like the rivalry in the county. Definitely going against them. That was definitely fun. That was fun for me. You know. And like I said, like I wasn't really that guy on the team. Like I wasn't really that guy.
Are you serious?
I was more like a role player. I was like a role player. Like I was just doing my role, playing my part. But just seeing the success of the team, you feel me? Just going to battle with my teammates. That was definitely
that's what's up, man.
For me. That was my thing.
You know what, man? I really like that because, like I said, even in the message that I would like to get off here, like, even in telling your story, I think is a message there for even that kid who might not be the star player. You keep pushing, you keep thriving, you can eventually get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's dope in itself too. Talk to me about some of, and we still like in your earlier years, like what was some of your motivations? So if you talk about playing the sport, you talk about being introduced by your godfather. What was some of your motivations when stepping onto that field? Like, what was your inspiration and your motivations to do well or to be a good teammate? What were some of those things?
Man, like, I don't know. Me, I'm an unselfish guy. So you feel me? Like when it comes to other people, like I definitely don't mind. You feel me? Letting people have their shot. I'm like, man, I want to see you win. I want to see everybody win. That's just me. But man, like at heart, man, I'm a winner. That's what I love to do. I love to win. Like, man, I want to win with my guys. Whether you feel me, whether you eat with me or not, like I want to win. Like that's just me. So I always had that mindset, like win, just win, everything win. I dislike losing a lot. Like man, my mom would tell you, I dislike losing.
I get it, and I like how you said it too. You didn't use the word hate. You said I dislike it a lot. I like how you even laid it down. No, I get it though. It makes sense.
Feel me? But no, like I don't know. Like
so winning.
Winning. That's my main thing. Just winning. I just wanted, like, that's all I wanted to do is win. And yeah, I didn't win. I wouldn't say like I won championships yet, but that's soon to come, man. Like at the end of the day, that's definitely soon to come.
That was gonna be my next question. So no championships.
I had no championships throughout that's at all.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah, they gonna come, and it's going. When it do come, it's gonna be worth the wait.
It's gonna be worth the wait. I'm already know.
It's gonna be worth the wait. Yeah, and I think that's wild to me because again, I see from my aspect, like I said, I saw some of your I was able to see just following your mom.
Yeah.
I was able to see some of your youth and then your high school. I'm thinking is up. But again, even with it not being yet, I still think it's power in that too, because people can see your trajectory. It's clear. You follow me? And I think the fact that you had to work towards that is the most important thing that I think the youth should be able to know. Like, even if you didn't start out as the star on your team, you can get there. So I like it, man. I love it, man. I love to hear it, man. So tell me this, Eric.
Okay.
what was the toughest lesson that you had to learn? And again, throughout your youth, you could, whether you want to say like through sports or personally, but we still talking about your youth years, right? Because I want to ultimately lead into high school, right? So, what was the toughest lesson you had to learn? How did you overcome it, and how did it help prepare you for the next level?
Man, I would say, my toughest lesson, man, it was funny. It was more like grade wise, like school wise.
Okay,
So I was struggling in school. Math was not that wasn't my strong suit. So
okay.
you feel me? My mom actually pulled me. She actually pulled me, and
Okay.
my team lost. So me, like I just like, dang, like man, maybe if I could help my team, maybe you feel me? Maybe it could have been different. Like I was like, I just felt bad. Like I let my team down, let my coaches down. Shoot,
Mhm.
I let my mom down, let myself down. Like it was just like dang. So I felt like that right there is something I had to learn because, like that school plays an important
For
role also.
number one, when I
School,
usually, you in college, so I didn't do
yeah,
it with you. But when I bring the kids on here, before I ask them any questions, we talk about school. How's school doing? We get right into that because you need that. It
you need
ain't no
that.
football without that. Yeah.
You need that. So you
Mm-hmm.
feel me? That's like one of the lessons I really learned. Like, all right, man, like if you gonna do this, you can't play around in school. Like you gotta lock in, you gotta focus, you gotta good grades, you just gotta be the best person you could be outside of the football field, as well as the best person you can be on the football field. Like it's more than just like it was just more than just a game. Like it's not just a game, man. It's more than that. So it definitely helped me. And then heading into high school, I went in there with the mindset like, okay, listen, man, I gotta come in here. I gotta stay focused. I gotta stay on my grind. Like, listen, all the other stuff, it could wait. But I know I gotta do this first. So I wasn't the person in the hallways you see all the time. Like, man, I was in classroom doing work. I was focused. I was just locked in, man. I just know I had to be locked in if I wanted to go where I wanted to go.
Word. And and that's the formula, man. And I think the fact that you were able to figure it out earlier, was helpful also. That whole spill that you gave about being pulled from the team, even, the whole way you broke it down, you let yourself down. You felt like you left your teammates down, your mom. So it made you feel obligated to get that area of your life in order. So yeah, you gotta have that balance. I try to lay that out for the youth too. Like no matter how good you are, you gotta have them
You
grades in
got
order,
to,
man.
got to.
And so I would say this. So now moving into your teenage years, right, or into
Okay.
like high
All right,
school
high school.
football.
Okay.
Yeah. So what would you say, just for our youth viewers, right? What would you say the biggest difference and or challenge in transitioning from youth football to high school level football?
I would say the competition, like the speed, everything gets better. Like everything is faster. The competition is better. Like you feel me? And then at that, you're playing with all the boys from around. So it's like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
everybody coming together. Everybody was skillful. Y'all wasn't on the same team then, but y'all on the same team now. So it's like, man, it's not just you. You're not going to be like, you're not going to be just that guy. Like you're going to have to really prove yourself.
Yes, sir.
And like it's just way more. It's like really way more to it. Like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
high school, it was definitely a different ball game for me, man. Like me, I'm small,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
man. I took crazy hits, and I'm just like, man, like youth ball, yeah, you could probably run through a few tackles. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Just do some jaw dropping crazy stuff. You feel me? In high
Mm-hmm.
school, man, like yeah, the competition, it
Mm-hmm.
got real crazy. Like everything went up. The hits was harder. The
Mm-hmm.
game, you had to play smarter. You had to
Yes,
think
sir.
smarter. You feel me? You just got everything has to be in order and everything has to be better when you're on the high school field. You feel me? So
So
it's just
you
like, you
okay?
feel me?
So you mentioned your size, right? Which I think
Mm-hmm.
is it's a highlighted part of your skills, right, or who you are
Mm-hmm.
as a player. Because even in your size, I think you make up for what you lack in size. You make up for in heart,
Mm-hmm.
ability. You follow me? And so I wanted to ask you, especially in learning that, in your youth years, you wasn't that guy that you kind of like came into that guy. How was that for you being one of the smaller guys on the field? Like, how was that for you? How was that challenging for you? And how did you face that and ultimately overcome it and then reach the peak in which you did?
All right. So I'm gonna go back a little bit. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
So being like a smaller guy, like I don't know, I feel like I played with when I was younger. I feel like the reason I couldn't really grasp it is because I played with more fear. Should I say? Like it wasn't that I was lacking the heart, but I felt like I still had that fear inside of me. Like you feel me? Like dang, I'm a small guy. You feel me? These guys big. Like dang, what I'm gonna do? So as I started getting older, man, I really started like realizing like I can really hoop with these boys. I'm like, man, I can't do nothing they can't do. Like, you feel me? So I just really started when I started getting into it, that confidence started building up. That confidence started building up. And then remember, I was like my freshman year, I was going against varsity. I was playing against varsity players. I was killing them boys. I was like, listen, man. I was like, listen, I could do this. I'm like, this is something I could really do.
Right.
And I was like, that confidence just went up, man. And then it just felt like that height didn't play a part no more. I was like, man, listen, man, I might be small, you might be big. I could still kill you. I dice you up on the field real quick. Like, it ain't nothing to it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm with you.
feel
Okay.
me?
Yeah, and I like that, man, because it would have to be a level of mental toughness that comes into play too.
Definitely,
Which is important. And you talked about that. You talked about like going back some, you said if the way you explained it, it would have to have been the mental part. Once you overcame
once I came to the mental part,
aspect,
I was able to move forward and you feel me, do what I had to do.
Which you probably and I think that all people have to go through that at some point in their lives, right? Where they have to like overcome some type of level. And when we use the word fear, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a bad thing.
Bad thing.
Yeah. But I think you definitely displayed your toughness right in that area when you made the decision to say, you know what, like I could ball with these guys, size or not. You feel me? We gonna get it in. So tell me this. So we talking about ninth grade were you varsity ninth grade?
No, I was freshman ninth grade, but like we used to actually like play around, like play with the varsity a little bit of practice with them sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's when I really realized I was like, yeah, man.
So at what point did you become varsity?
My sophomore year.
Yeah.
Sophomore year,
which is still fairly early. That's
early.
So you gotta think about this, E. Your size, right? That's one thing, and then you're still young.
Yo,
10th graders normally don't get that opportunity. Not all 10th graders get the opportunity to play varsity, bro. Yeah, so you doing some great things at this point. That's why I kind of like want to set the tone and the setting for the viewers, right? So 10th grade varsity, that's fire. So how was that for you? Like how did that come about for you, and how was that feeling for you?
Cool. So that summer, you feel me? I was putting the work in. I was doing my thing. You feel me? I was with my guy, Coach Mitch. Shout out to him. You feel me? He was one getting me right. Like
okay.
So and shout out to Ryan too. He was my weightlifting trainer. I actually started getting right with him, like more towards the season. But like the fact is, like he definitely helped me to where I got to now. So that's a shout out to them. But yeah. So I was putting the work in with Mitch, and you feel me? Like just probably practicing two, 3 times a day, like with Mitch before practice, go to practice. Like I was just constantly putting in that work. And I finally got that opportunity, and it was just it was definitely up from there. So basically I started out not the main solidified starting rule, but me and the guy was rotating.
Right.
So we was calling the plays in. So he'll go in, he'll call a play in, boom, he'll come out, I go and call a play in. And then what happened is when you young, you gotta you have to lock in on a playbook. Like you have to. Like you gotta be able to learn fast. So my ability was I was able to learn quick. Like, so I learned it faster than the other guy.
Okay.
And then I started producing more. My QB started trusting me, and I was able to, get the solidified starting role. And then as the
This all
season
10th
went
grade.
on,
This still
this all 10th grade. This all
wow.
10th grade. And then as the season went on, the trust started building with the QB, and you feel me? I was able to, start really making plays. Like people was actually able to see what I was able to do on the field. So
Word.
definitely a lot, but man, it's possible.
So at what point would you say you started to get because again, I'm coming to you to the realization of who you are through social media, right?
Yeah.
So at what point in time do you start seeing like the people noticing, giving you recognition for your things that you do on the field? Like at what point in time did you start realizing that?
It's funny. All right, so my freshman year, the seniors, like the varsity players, they was definitely like, like he gonna be special. Like they was telling me like, yeah, he gonna be special. Like so, like my man Dev, he was definitely telling me Dev. My man Sarah, it was telling me like, man, like you're gonna be something. And to me, it wasn't like it was like it sound good. Like I don't know, like you feel me, but when I really started doing it, I'm like, man, like, dude, they wasn't lying. Like, they called this before it even happened. Like, my man literally went into the season. That summer, he went into the season like, yo, my man's about to come in here. He about to put off 7 touchdowns this year. And it was funny because I really put off 7 touchdowns that year. And I was like, yo, my man's really called it. I'm like, yo.
So was it, with the recognition, right? Because again, like I said, you, just based off of the things that I would see, like your mom posts, right? It's a lot of love there, a lot of support there.
Yeah.
How was that like? How was that like for you balancing, right? The recognition that you get for the things that you do on the field, how was it for you being able to balance your personal life and getting the recognition for the things that you do on the field?
Well, so like my mom, she's my biggest supporter. You feel me? Like you could go on her page, you just see me all through her page. Oh, you see me all through that page. So like, yeah, like the recognition I get, like the love is always there. Like I'm always going to know, like man, like listen, they always supporting. So that never, that never affected what I had going on, like on the field. Like listen, man, when I got on that field, I got a job to do. I'm gonna do that job. I'm gonna put the work in. And you feel me? Like, that's going to be what that is always. But I always knew, like, I had that support. So whatever I do, whatever I set my mind to, my mom, anybody else who was there, like, they're supporting me. I know it. I had her support 100%. So it was never a problem with that.
Word. So I'll tell you that I'll share this quick story with you. So when I think back, I always think you was maybe in the 9th grade, but it might have been the 10th. The way you telling the story, it may have been your 10th grade year. So this was like towards like Thanksgiving. The local news will go around to all the high schools and catch all the football games right before Thanksgiving or whatever, right? So at the time I'm at work. I'm working overnight, so I'm watching like the 11 o'clock news, and I'm watching all the highlights from around Pennsylvania, right? And here y'all, I don't remember who y'all was playing, but here you come across the television screen, right? Listen, real rap.
I remember you talking about
across the news.
That was 10th grade year. That was 10th grade year.
But going crazy on them boys, right? They say your name and everything. So I tell my coworker at the time, I said, yo, I follow his vibe. Young boy was going crazy out here, right?
Yeah.
And even my coworker at the time, I said, yo, and I think you only in the 9th grade. Like you said, you was in the 10th, but I thought you might have been in the 9th. And even my coworker at the time, just by what the cameras had caught you doing, it was like your abilities were, and he like, dang, he only in the 9th grade and he was moving like that on the field. Yeah. So it was, I think I wound up even, so mind you, your mom, if she at your games, she broadcasting live, following me pictures all up and down the Jones. So I remember like sending your mom a message, like, did you see y'all on the news? You know what I'm saying? Like that type stuff. So at that point in time, that's when I really started really paying attention. You follow me? So if you
I
said it was
feel
your
that.
10th grade year,
Yeah, that's my
10th grade year.
right there.
When I seen him come across the screen, I said, "Oh yeah, he about to do some crazy things." You feel me? So so you pretty much had me locked in, even if I would see you up until that point. But I pretty much been locked in since your 10th grade year, trying to just watching your
That's
story
love.
play out or whatever, man.
That's
So
love
salute
right
to you
there.
for that.
Appreciate it,
So
man.
yeah, for sure. Talk to me a little bit more about. So we talked about balancing personal life in the game itself. Talk to me about balancing academics. Again, we talked about how important it was, but again, I want to talk. We talking about being in high school. So a lot of our youth, a lot of the guys that are watching us that we sit with, they have yet to even get to middle school yet. They just entering middle school. So talk to me about like some of the challenges of balancing your schoolwork and athletics. Talk to me about some of the challenges and some of the good parts of it, if there are any.
I got you. All right. So basically, the challenges with, you feel me? If you're a committed athlete, right, you're gonna be constantly working. So like the day is gonna be full of work, and it's gonna be repetitive. So basically, the struggle is basically like finding time, that free time to do. You feel me? Like to do what you have to do in the classroom. So right, let's say if I have homework for every class, and I got about 2 workouts. Cause I was definitely doing like 2 workouts. I was doing 2 workouts a day. So the problem is, boom, one workout right after school, take a break, come back and work out. By the time I'm done that, I'm drained. So it's basically having that, you gotta have that mental toughness. Like, all right, man, like, listen, you gotta get this done. Like, this got to be done. This has to be your first, like, this has to be your first priority. School has to be your first priority. So you need to make sure, like, whatever free time you get, that you get it done. Like, you make sure that you get it done. Whenever, wherever you have to. It don't matter if it's in the next classroom, because I knew that was me. I'm like, dang, I got all this homework. I'm doing it in the next classroom. I'm trying to get it all. I'm just trying to get it out the way. So you feel me? So when I'm done, by the end of the day, I could just rest myself, just chill, fall back. So you feel me? But I was making sure whatever I could do, I got it done. And it was never an excuse. Like, you feel me? I never try to make an excuse for myself on why I didn't get this done. And that was probably why I was more successful. Because I never tried to make an excuse for myself. Like, I'm like, listen, she gave this to me. It's a deadline. It's a date. All right, cool. I'm gonna get it done. It was never no problem, and that's why my GPA was. I had a 3.1 GPA. Like, you feel me? I made sure and I stayed on top of that.
Word. That's fire, man. And again, I love that because it's so important, man. And I just, again, first off, salute to you for being able to do that for yourself, man. But I just, understanding the importance of that, because a lot of people don't understand that. That's no matter how good you are, bro, no matter how good you are, you have to have those academics in order. So the fact, again, so now here you are translating your mental toughness from the field to the classroom, where it's like, I got a lot of stuff that I got to overcome here. I have to get it done. Follow me? And I think it's a great mentality to have, because clearly you have your goals set for yourself and you're going to do what you have to do in order to accomplish them. And I think that's a great mentality to have. It's great quality to have. So salute to you for that, bro. For sure.
Appreciate it.
Let me see where we are. So talk to me about some of your most notable moments in high school. So talk to me a little. We talked about you coming in, ninth grade year being on freshman, and then 10th grade year being able to become varsity. But talk to me a little bit more about some of the notable moments within your high school career that we might not have had the opportunity to mention yet.
Well, I know that you said something about my track.
Yes, sir. Track. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. That track was definitely.
What year did we start track?
That was my junior year. It was actually so that was COVID year, right? So
you gotta see. I know COVID was. I don't know. I can't remember what year it was in. What grade?
So like 10th grade, right? I had 10th grade season. That game that you see me on the news.
Yes, sir.
We actually lost that game by 1 point. We lost that game 43-42.
Okay.
So right after that season, let's say COVID hit.
Okay.
We didn't go to school. So it was probably about
COVID was your junior year?
COVID was
your senior year?
COVID was my junior year. Like, it happened my sophomore year, and we was out.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then
That
by
makes
the
sense.
time we started getting back, it was my junior year.
Got you. That makes sense. All right.
So now, you feel me? We had a short football season.
Mm.
And then I jumped right into track, like right after that, like literally right after that. So people actually didn't think I was going to be able to produce on the track because all of the beatings and the hits I was taking. Like I just got done the football season and I jumped right into a track season.
Mm-hmm.
It took a minute to get there, but it definitely happened. And I remember the reporter, he was asking me like, man, like you could really do this track. He was like, you could do this in track. Like you could really be great in track. He was like, why don't you like take it seriously and give up football? I was just like, no, like, I can't do that. Like football, that's where it's at. Like that's just me.
Yeah.
That's me right there.
It reminds me a little bit of it's funny, his name is Eric too, but Eric Futch. You familiar with him? Eric Futch?
I heard of him. Yeah.
He's a former Cowan Comet football player. He's a little bit younger than I am. He might be a little older than you, but a little younger than I am. But he used to play, he started off as a running back. Not sure that he played too much football in high school, but I want to say he played the entire Cowan career, and he ultimately ended up getting the opportunity to run track at, I want to say University of Florida. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it reminds me a lot of him because he had one of your better attributes on the field is your speed.
It's my speed.
Follow me? So even him, when I think about Eric as a kid, he was just super fast. You follow me? And he translated it into track. But for you, it's going to remain you sticking with football.
I stuck right with football, man. Like I couldn't. People still try to ask me, like, man, why you don't run track? Like, I'm like, nah, like that's just.
Are you doing it right now? You're not doing it in college?
Not right now. They actually want me to run in the spring.
Okay.
But I told them I'd think about it. Like, I don't know, man. It's just something about that. It's just something about the game, like, man, getting hit, like, that's just me. Like, I love it. I love getting dirty. That's just me, man. Like,
so, what would you say the difference in for football and track? What would you say the difference in preparation is? Because I heard you say like they didn't think you would be able to get ready. So, what's the preparation for like the difference between the two?
Right. So the preparation wise, let's say this, right? I'm a high school student. Like, I'm still learning the game. I wouldn't say I was getting prepared properly in football. As I was in track. Like track, like it all boils down. Like, man, you gotta make sure you stretch. You gotta make sure you eat right. Like everything has to be right. Football, man, I get out on that field and I just do my thing. Like that was natural to me. But I started learning like you really have to take care of your body, and I learned that through track. Like, man, like the stretches we had to do. Like we was warming up for almost an hour. So it was just like, dang, like, you feel me? I'm like, all right, cool. Well, if I gotta do all this here, I might as well translate it to, you feel me? So I could be ready to go when it's time to put on the pads. So feel me? Like it was definitely it was a more focused, like it was more focused on preparation when it came to track. Like you got to make sure you prepared to run this. Like the night before it was district. My coach was like, yeah, none of that fried grease stuff. He's like, you gotta eat pasta. I'm like, pasta? I don't want no pasta. You feel me? But it's just like, you feel me? He was like, listen, it's gonna stop me from cramping. Like he was like, it's gonna help you. It's gonna benefit you. So I'm like, okay. So I started really paying attention to what he was teaching me. I was like, okay, so this is really what it is. I'm like, I need to be prepared when I'm stepping on the track. I need to be prepared when I'm stepping on the field. Like, you feel me? So everything started like changing my perspective. It started being more about preparation. Like, what am I doing to be prepared for where I'm going, where I'm trying to go? So yeah, that's
that makes
why I started
sense.
learning.
Word, that makes sense. And so you ran 2 years. So you did 2 years of track. Okay. And did you? Pretty sure you ran the Penn relays, right?
Yeah, I did that.
Penn relays. And any other accomplishments in track that we did mention?
I ran state. But I actually, that was one of my times where it just wasn't my day. It didn't go my way. So,
it happens.
I took my L on the chin. You feel me? It is what it is. But definitely, it was a nice experience for me, though. Like
that's what I wanted to point out. You still, win, lose, or draw in the competition is still a win, right?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about a kid started on the offensive. What do you say? The offensive line.
Offensive line, man.
Yeah. Now you running states. So just that storyline itself, like win, lose, or draw, is still a win. You follow me? So even just having an experience, I think, is a great opportunity for you. So salute to you for being able to do that. Talk to me a little bit about. So we talked about track. We talked about the balancing academics and athletics in high school. So we want to talk a little bit about where you are today, which is in college, right?
Yep.
So if you could share with me like a little bit of how your transition was, because now we going in from high school to college, which is another shift. So talk to me a little bit about that.
All right, that transition my freshman year, it was a little rough for me. You feel me? Like just being far away from home, it was definitely new, like new environment, new experience,
Yes,
new
sir.
everything. So everything was a little rough. It took some adjusting to really get here. And I remember, I'm being quite honest, right? So I didn't have I was offered a spot, but I wasn't offered no money to go to come to Cal U.
Okay.
So
all right.
So I had other PSAC schools, but the coach that was here, like he was, how should I say, like the genuine energy that he gave me, like it felt like, all right, just raw, like you feel me? We can make something work here. Like he was like, man, like I want you, I need you, like you feel me? He just kept constantly hitting me up, and you feel me? Like just built a relationship with him. And it's funny because before I got here, he left. Before I got here, he left. He because they didn't give him the OC job, so he went to IUP, the rival school.
Wow. And y'all just smacked my fault.
And we just beat it.
Smacked him.
So yeah, it was just definitely crazy. So it was definitely weird. It was like just weird trying to get used to it. I had to get used to a new receiving coach and all that. So like, I don't know, like coming up here, I was definitely doing my thing. And on the field, like that was without a doubt in me, I knew I was going to do my thing on the field.
Yes, sir.
But the hard part was off the field, trying to get adjusted off the field.
Yes,
that
sir.
was my main struggle. Like, man, like I was like, damn, I want to go home, man. Like that was my main thing. I want to go home. Like, bro, I don't know if I can keep doing it. Yeah. I'm like, man, the food suck, everything suck. I just want to go home. Like, man, like it really, like the mental part will really drive you crazy. So I was like, man, like, I almost wanted to give up. But like that mental toughness I had, we just wouldn't let me.
I was about to say, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I'm like, man, I got over here. I can't give up. And then first game I started as a freshman, I was just like,
wow.
I'm like, dang, like it's real. I scored 2 touchdowns that game. I was just like, yeah, it's real.
That's fire.
I knew I had to, you feel me? I knew I had to keep going, but it definitely was a rough adjustment for me coming from high school to college. Like, it definitely was hard. But I had the support system around me to help me keep going as well. So, you feel me? That definitely played a good role.
Yeah, that's I would say that's always going to be important. Your support, if you got the support, you can pretty much get through anything. You got your mental toughness for yourself, and then you got the moral support behind you. Yeah, you're gonna be good. So talk to me a little bit about the difference in the level of play. So again, is a shift even in that, right?
Oh man. All right, let's say this. The players they get bigger. Whatever you say, every level they keep going up. So the players got bigger, but the plays got more complicated. So it was way more studying I had to do. Like it was harder to grasp, not impossible, but harder to grasp, like way harder to grasp. And it was just like dang, like it's a faster game. Hand signals going, like all these hand signals. I'm like, dang, like if I can't catch this, I'm not going to be on the field. Right. So it's definitely tougher trying to grasp what's going on, especially in a new place for you. Like everything is new. You never been here. You feel me? Like you don't know what to expect. College ball is way different from high school. It's more serious. Like high school, that's fun. Like that's more where you're having fun. When you get to college, it's business. That's strict business.
Talk your talk. I love that. Okay.
That's straight business. Like, man, like, listen, you getting paid to go here. Like, listen, they coming out of pocket. It's business. You can't. It ain't no playing around in the classroom. It's not none of that. It's no playing around on the field and all this other stuff. Like, bro,
So
it
so
gets serious.
let me ask you this, Eric. At what point was it like for you, right? Because again, like you said, it's business, so it's a different world in college, right?
Different world in college.
So at what point was it like for you? And then I would like to assume that you dreamed of to be able to play in college football one day.
Play college football one day.
So at what point was it like, yo, I'm here? Like, was it the touchdown? Was it learning the plays? Was it just stepping on the field for the first time? What point was it like, yo, I'm here? I'm really here.
It's funny, man. Like, I don't never really think about it. I just be enjoying the moment, right?
That's crazy.
That's just me. Like, I don't never really think about it. I just be enjoying the moment, right? But it was funny because one day I came back home for Thanksgiving break and I was with my homie. We sitting there chopping it up about life, like, you feel me? It was just like, dang, man, like, everything you said you was going to do, you did it. I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, bro, I really did. Like I said, everything I said, I stood on business and I really did what I said I was going to do, without a doubt. And it was just like, and I really started thinking, like, yeah, like.
I think you saying that you didn't really, like, put much thought into it, that also attributes to your mental toughness, right? Because a lot of people could get like caught up in the moment, too caught up in the moment, and then they wind up messing it up. You follow me? So I think again, I always thought it was your speed. Obviously, you can catch the ball.
Yeah.
Your agility. You like you said, I'm dicing these balls up. But it's your mental toughness. You follow me? If you had like a player on a football game, your mental toughness would be on 99. You follow me? And I'm just being honest with you. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it helps. My point is, it helps with every other area of who you are, your mental toughness. So again, like just hearing you say, like, I didn't put much thought into it, and here you are on the next level, again, getting better the more and more you progress and staying grounded, humble. You follow me? Yeah, you talk your shit when it's necessary, but my point is to be able to like you said, be at places that you've never been before. Find success in areas that you've never touched. Some people, that might be too much for people and they get ahead of themselves and they wind up messing it up. So the fact that you grounded throughout all of this, I think is a great thing for you too, man. And it's a great example for our youth players coming behind you. You're setting a great example. I just want to set that. Even if you're not thinking about that, you might not even be thinking about that. I don't want to put that on you, but this is what
I always knew.
Yeah,
like,
you showing people.
You feel me?
Yeah, you showing people. No matter you got I know you got little cousins and stuff like that. Like you showing somebody how it's supposed to get done. So I definitely salute you for that, man, for sure.
Man.
So again, like you talked about, this is business. So even in school, your teacher ain't, Mr. Willis, what do you do? No, they not. It's all on you.
They'll kick you out of class, for real. Like, they'll really kick you out of class. They won't let you in sometimes, depending on how late you are. But yeah,
so
like,
what's the difference? Talk to me about the difference between like your college courses and then even high school. Like, what's the difference in?
I would say like, how I put it, high school. Your teacher's more engaged with you. Like, they right there. You feel me? They more engaged with you. In college, you have to go to your teacher. Like, if you need help, whether it is like you need to go to tutoring or anything, you have to go do that for yourself. Like, they're not worrying about whether you get it or not, because at the end of the day, they're still getting paid. They're still doing, you feel me? They're doing what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, you have to stay on top of what you have going on for yourself. Like, that's you. If you want to be great, you have to stay on top of that. So and
they not trying to hear. They ain't trying to hear. I had to watch my son.
No,
they ain't trying to hear that.
None of that. None of that. You get none of that.
They stick it when you say standard old business. They standard old business.
Definitely learned that.
So yeah, it's again the balance. I think the balance too between, like, even at this level is important too. It might even be a little tougher, and you might have to adapt to, like, find different ways to be able to balance. Ways that you haven't ever utilized before. But I think, again, from So we talking. So just to again to paint the picture, you learned this lesson. You learned that lesson in youth, maybe elementary school,
Yeah.
where your grades wasn't right, and it's like your mom pulled you, and you could have helped your team win, and you didn't. So you learned. So here we are through middle school, high school. You know this is important. I got to do this, and it ultimately helps you, and it's going to help you to overcome any obstacles that you may face in your current state. So is that again? Anybody, the young guys that are out there watching this, young ladies, any student athletes out there, academics first, and then immediately after whatever sport you decide. Talk to me about the season. I didn't get a chance to catch too many of your games. I think I did catch the IUP. That's why I was able to say smack them around. So I caught that one, but just a lot going on here at Young Black and Gifted. I didn't get a chance to catch up. So just talk to me about the season.
All right, well, the season was cool. You feel me? All right, so this is me stepping into a new role, right? This is after my coach told me. My coach sat there and told me. He told me to my face. He was like, yeah, man. So basically, the coach that recruited me, he was trying everything he could possibly to get me there. So shout out to him, Coach Will. Shout out to him. But my coach, the offensive coordinator, he sat there and told me, he was like, listen, man, when you came here, he was like, we ain't really thinking nothing of you. Like, we just thought, okay, he's fast. He could do, you feel me? Like, with most kids, most short people could do, like, okay, he can do whatever he got to do. But he was like, they didn't want me. He told me that. He said they didn't want me. I'm just like, dang. Like, I wouldn't say I felt the way because, you feel me, I already had proved myself. And he already talked about, like, he wanted me to step up and be the number one receiver because the receiver we had prior, he actually went up to Division I to go to Rutgers. So now, me, this is a new role for me. Okay, I'm filling in his shoes. And he already had some big shoes to fill. He filled them shoes, and now I got to fill his shoes. And I'm young. He started off when he was a junior. I started off as a freshman, sophomore now, being a one receiver. So it was a lot, but not necessarily because, the moments never felt too big for me. Like, I always was like that mental toughness you were talking about, like, I was always able to step up in that moment and be able to produce without there being a problem. Like, it was never an issue for me. So I could definitely say the transition, like, it was definitely different because he definitely told me, he said, listen, like, you will be the first guy that we have this size to be the one receiver. He was like, nobody this size ever came here to be one receiver. And the one receiver isn't the slot receiver. I play outside up there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's definitely different. Me, I'm used to being slot receiver. I'm like, okay, you feel me? I could go against the linebackers, slot cornerback sometimes, but no, this is outside receiver, small guy, constantly going against the press. You feel me? Just constantly, I had to be able to be. They had to be able to be. They had to be able to rely on me. You feel me? To be where I need to be.
Yes, sir.
Get open. You feel me? Make the tough catches. Like it all boils down to me. So definitely stepping up in that role, like it showed some character to me. Like, okay, like, listen, man, like, you're a reliable person. You can do this. If they need you here, you can do that. And all the lessons that I learned prior to this, it helped me. Like, it helped me in this situation. Like I said, man, like, preparation. Like, I was always prepared. Like, when I went on that field, I was prepared. Like, I was ready for whatever was thrown at me. Wherever they needed me, I was there. I was on punt return. I was on kick return. Shoot, if they wanted me to run down and tackle somebody, I'd do that. Like, it was never no issue. Like, man, like, I was able to be anywhere that they needed me. I was used to be able to be useful anywhere. Usually they'd be like, okay, you're the one receiver. Yeah, you need rest. I'm like, no, man, put me out. I want to play. Like, it was never no problem for me, man. And that's a big thing for me.
So being number one receiver, I can imagine, and especially with your ability, your speed, I'm sure that defenses are preparing to stop.
They're preparing to stop me there.
So how is that like when you step out there and you see, I don't know if it's a double or they shadow.
I started getting
like how is
okay, so cool. I'm gonna take it back, right? Yeah. So boom. All right, cool. So definitely it was different, especially coming from freshman year, I could say my play style changed a little bit.
Okay.
Freshman year, right? I feel like I danced a little too much sometimes. Maybe it might have been trying to do too much, trying to create too much in my head. Like maybe it don't have to be that. Maybe just get to the point. Boom. So cool. So going into my sophomore year, I started, you feel me, just getting to the point. Then I had the game where I had 274 yards.
So wait a minute, receiving or total?
In one game. That was one game. Almost, I was like 7 yards. I was 7 yards away from breaking the record.
Wow. Yeah, they said, listen, we got double.
So yeah, they started doubling me. Like the double team started going trailing. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went into the games expecting double team, and even with that, my mindset is like, I gotta win. I was just beating double teams if I had to. Like it was never no problem. And my quarterback had that trust in me. Like, all right, listen, man. He was throwing them Jones anyway. I had a post double team. He was still throwing them Jones. I was just like, listen, man, I gotta make it work for my team. Like that's just me. Like I said, I'm all about the team. You feel me? I'm a team guy.
Yeah. I know they was doubling you in that IUP game.
Oh yeah, they were definitely doubling.
You said the coach was over there. They said double. You gotta double him, triple him if you need to. Yeah. Word. So that's that again, mental toughness, because some people might see that challenge. They might be so used to having it their way, and then face a challenge and not know how to overcome it. But here you are, you digging deeper with this out of yourself, and you finding ways around even a tougher challenge. So that's very important. So you talked about the team, and for being somebody who pretty much had to play different positions earlier on in learning the game. Talk to me about what you believe to be the importance of your teammates. Whether position, whether we talking about locker room morale, how what through your experiences throughout the years, talk to me about what you believe to be the importance of your teammates and the culture surrounding the team.
All right, so for me, mine was just laying it all on the line, like giving your teammates 100%, even when you didn't have 100% in you. Listen, freshman year, I went up there, actually fractured my elbow in one of the games. I missed the game, but I came back and I finished the season with an elbow brace on. Knowing I could barely run with it, it was for the team. Like, you feel me? I'm like, listen, man, like, my team need me. Like, listen, I can't let my teammates down. Like, I give my teammates everything I got in me. Like, man, like, I had no problem with sacrificing myself for the team. Like, I always put the team needs ahead of mine. So, you feel me? When it come down to it, I always felt as though, like, even if you feel like you can't, try to give a little more. You feel me? Like, that's always been my thing. And that's even what my coaches talked to me about. Like, he was like, listen, like, I'm not a real vocal guy. Like, I don't speak too much. Like, I just get business done. I just handle business. I don't speak too much.
Yes, sir.
I know, like, now, stepping up into the role where I'm in now, I have to be more vocal. I have to speak more. Like, I have to speak out, because he was like, listen, your teammates are going to listen. He was like, you're doing big things. Your team is going to listen. He was like, you have to be that vocal leader for it. So now that I know, I always have my one teammate. He was more the Martin Luther of the King, like the team. You feel me? Like, he was Malcolm X. He was doing all the speaking. He was doing all the speaking.
Okay.
I'm just there.
Yeah.
Like, my thing always been lead by example. Like, I'm showing people how to do it. Whether that's on the field, off the field, you feel me? I'm showing you how. But now that I know, like, learning, I have to speak more. I have to be vocal about it, you feel me? So I'm definitely within teamwork and, like, with team meaning, I'm learning more values of leading and being a team person. You feel me? It's not just about leading by example and showing, but also telling. So, you feel me? It's definitely different things I'm still also learning, but definitely I feel like teamwork, man, like, it's definitely sacrificing for your team. Like, man, like, even what you can't do, you not want to do, you don't feel like doing, like, man, just give it up for your team. Like, your brother might need you. You never know. Like, any situation. That could be, it don't even gotta be a team. You could be a friend, a relationship, whatever. Like,
yes, sir. Talk your talk.
You gotta sacrifice some. Like, so that's what I learned.
Yeah. That's fire, man. That's dope. It's a great mentality to have. and the fact that you're at the point in your life that you have that understanding, you'll get around to it, even with being a leader. Like you said, I even leading by excuse me, leading by example is a great leadership quality, right? But sometimes, yeah, you might want to have to gauge it and explain and talk, because, like you say, you might not be able to do the work. You might not be able to lead by example, but knowing that you cheering your teammate on, or like you said, in your relationship, your friendships, and all that stuff, cheering your people on, that could be of a great help. Like even for yourself, you talk about having your own mental toughness, but you got the support system. So, being able to that's a great part of being a leader too, is being able to have support of your teammates morally also. So that's we actually towards the end, man. This is some great stuff, man. Just a few more questions and we'll be wrapping up. So I want to ask you, what's your goals moving forward? We talked about everything from youth football to high school, some of the stuff that's going on currently in college.
Are we talking about personal goals? Or are we talking about the team goals? Or you want both?
I mean, whatever's for you. This is open for this is ERIC Willis show right now. So whatever you feel comfortable talking about, man. So whatever your goals are, let's hear them.
Well, football wise, you feel me? So right now I was in a situation that if I wanted to go up to D1 or if I was going to stay down another year. But it's a good chance I might stay down another year and then might go up next year. So right now, my goal is you feel me? Personally, this off season I'm working on getting bigger right now. You feel me? I'm working on, not necessarily doing too much field work because that's a very big strong suit. But I know to fill the role that I need to fill, I definitely had to gain more. I had to put more walk up. So that's definitely something I'm working on right now. And also, another goal for me is, you feel me? I have to exceed expectations. I had to go above and beyond this season, not only for the people around, for my coach, but for myself. I had to prove, and I I told my coaches that's why I wanted to go up. I'm like, listen, people didn't even think I could play D2 ball. I'm still proving to myself. I'm trying to prove that I could play with the big boys. You feel me? I'm still proving to myself. So I'm trying to exceed expectations this year. I'm trying to go for better receiving yards, more receptions, more touchdowns. You feel me? And then within the team, you feel me? I'm trying to get us boys. You feel me? We trying to get a chip. That's the main thing. Trying to get a chip. We trying to go to the playoffs, but we know listen, it's one day at a time. So that's you feel me? And then within the classroom, you feel me? I'm trying to graduate with at least a 3 something. I'm at a 3.15 right now.
Okay.
So you feel me? My grades definitely maintained. They're still good, but no,
yes, sir.
I'm trying to definitely raise my grades up. Definitely get my get my diploma and all that. So you feel me? It's definitely more. And then with football to the side, you feel me? At that, I still do want to work on business. I want to do. I talked about I want to do real estate. So outside of the game, like I said, it's more than just the game. You feel me? You also want to know what you want to do outside the game because you can't play the game forever. So it's a lot that I'm trying to accomplish, but I know that it's possible.
Yes, sir.
It's definitely possible.
Absolutely.
So I definitely have a lot of goals in mind, and I'm still reaching. But you feel me? I'm gonna get there. But the main goal, the childhood dream, that's the NFL, man. So at the end of the day, I gotta take care of business this year. I gotta take care of business. Matter of fact, not even say this year, I gotta take care of business tomorrow. Then the day after. It's all one day at a time, you feel me? So
you talking that talk. I like it, man. I like it.
You feel me?
You'll get there, man. I think the fact that you're able to not only think up the goals, but speak to them. You know what it takes in order to be able to accomplish them.
Yes, sir.
And then you have it in your mind. This is nothing different from what you did in high school. Maybe the goal is a little bit larger, but what it's going to take of you is what you've been preparing yourself the entire time for.
That's the childhood dream. You feel me? That's what we all shooting for. Man, we shooting for the stars. Why not? Why not shoot for the stars? What's wrong with that?
I agree.
You feel me? So I was talking to my coach and you feel me? So I just had to exceed expectations this year. I have to ball out this year. Then I could run for the pros for my junior day. So
Okay.
you feel me? I just gotta make sure I'm handling business, like taking care of what I gotta take care of, and that's on the field, in the classroom. You feel me? Like I definitely have to make sure of that. So my dream,
You're a busy man,
yeah, my
man.
dream
You
is
got a
right
lot.
there. It's right there, man. Right there.
You got a lot going on, man. And even, it made me think about I actually reached out to your mom last season.
Okay.
Like the beginning of the last season. And even with the youth football players, I tried not to do too much during the season because I feel like for me, it's like I don't want to be a distraction.
Okay.
Like I do want to be able to get content. I do want to be able to capture certain aspects of what's going on. But it's like I don't want to be a distraction because even in the youth football, I know that they're they're striving for things also, whether it's the championship or whatever it is, they're focused on something too. Something like few of our guys, they've been down to the Nationals in Florida. They working,
shout out to them,
they
man.
working for that. Yeah, shout out to the Morton brothers, even Sharon Hill. Shout out to them.
I be keeping up with them too. I be seeing them do their thing. You feel me? I definitely see them youngins out there balling.
And I know that for them, that's a goal that they've set. So I don't want to get in between it. So even when it came to you, I might have reached out to your mom probably last year, like with just throwing the idea out there. And the whole last season went by. And even this season went by. So after this season went by, and then I was a little bit more stable than I was last year, I said, I gotta get him. For sure. But my point is, with all the stuff that you got going on, I could, I want to be able to do this with you, but this is like lower for me. I'm telling you, Pete, you look at it however you want to. This is the bottom of the barrel. You got great things on your plate. You follow me? So I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to be able to catch up with you.
I appreciate it, man. I definitely ain't mind. When I seen it, I was like, dang, like me, you feel me? I'm not a real talkative person, but I'm like, you feel me? I definitely won't mind speaking, like, you feel me? Sharing my life with feel me, for the youth.
Yeah.
So definitely no problem for me.
And not only the youth, but even speaking about where you from, like your story, your interview will be relevant. And listen, I don't want to go too far off, but the things that you talk about accomplishing, you will. So this conversation is of value.
Yes, sir.
If they don't see it right now, and at one point in time they will. They gonna know. They gonna know what's up. You feel me? So, and what they'll be able to see and hear is, oh shit, he talked about that. And back then, he talked about what he doing right now. He said it back then. So, that was my goal here was to, I see you doing some great things for yourself. I've seen you do them already. And like I said, I know that for what we're trying to do here at the Young Black and Gifted, we want to set a good example. We want to connect with people who are setting good examples, who are great examples. So, like I said, you epitomize that. So I definitely had to, again, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you.
Man. Definitely appreciate the opportunity.
My last question for you, and this will wrap it up, man.
All right.
With everything that we talked about, with everything that we covered here in our conversation, even what I just went over, if you could go back and talk to your younger self.
Wow, that's crazy. It was definitely crazy.
Yeah.
It was only funny because my man literally just asked me that not too long ago. And I was thinking, I'm like, damn, what if he asked me this today? Like, what
So what advice, or if you could say anything to your younger self, where you are today, you could go back and talk to your younger self to try to help better prepare him for where you are today. What would you say? What would it be, man?
Man, I tell my younger self, you feel me? I don't know who, I'm a believer, like, you feel me? I tell my younger self, man, like, listen, man, put God first, man. At the end of the day, everything you do, God first, like, you feel me? And he'll lead you down the path that you feel me, that he wants you down. So, at the end of the day, like, just knowing that, it helped me in the long run. Like, it helped me get to where I am right now. He helped me get to where I am. So, I would definitely tell him to keep God first, but I would also tell him, like, man, stay focused. Like, it's a lot to do out here in this world, but, man, sometimes it can become a distraction for you. Like, you got a goal set for you. Handle business, man. Like, at the end of the day, business comes first. definitely keep the ones that you love close to you. Cherish them. Cherish every moment that you feel me, that you have. Enjoy it, because you can't get this back. It's not something you can get back. So you feel me? I would definitely tell them, and I say that it get hard, but man, you gotta keep pushing. Like, life is scary, man. That's just what it is. Life is scary. Life is hard, but you gotta keep pushing through, man. And that's definitely something I learned, and definitely something I share with my younger self. Like, man, definitely love the ones, keep the ones that you love close, cherish the moments, handle business, stay focused on what you got going on. You feel me? Keep God first. That's most of all. Like, that's the most important thing, man, because you can't do it without it.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't. That's a part of our slogan. I say young because we're in tune, black for the culture, and gifted because God said so. So he a part of. I agree. Putting God first, is definitely important, man, and understanding that that's where those gifts. I say gifted because God said so. So a lot of these gifts that you're, you know what I mean, having that understanding and being grateful for it is definitely important, man. And again, I think I believe that you'll do some great things. You'll continue. You've done some great things, and you'll continue, man. And again, I'm just grateful that you had the opportunity to come here and sit with us. And I thank you, man. This is an opportunity for us. This is an open opportunity. Like what I try to do with our guests is I try to leave the door open. So if we had an opportunity to sit down and do an update, you just you part of the family now. So you let me know what's best for you. And I look forward to seeing you, to your success and seeing you accomplish the things that you say you will do. And I want the youth to really learn from this young man, that all things are possible, no matter where you are currently in your situation. If you stay down, stay focused, you can overcome and you can accomplish anything. And that's what ERIC Willis has shown us and what he's going to continue to show us. So salute to you, bro, man. Any shout outs that you want to give off before we tap out?
Shout out God first, man. Always. Shout out to fam. Shout out to fam. Shout out my Duke. Shout out my dad. You feel me? My Uncle David. Uncle Stu. You feel me? Uncle Rod. You feel me? All the uncles that helped me get here. Shout out the homies. Shout out my cousins. You feel me? All that, man. Shout out my sister, man. Definitely shout out to fam. Shout out to all the supporters. Actually, man. We still running it up. We still got. You feel me? We still got time, but we gonna get there, man, for sure.
We gonna get to that. That's the slogan. We gonna get to that. Get to that. So again, E, I appreciate you. Thank you, man. And we'll catch up again soon, man. So good luck to you moving forward.
Appreciate it.
Stay focused, man. And you definitely got our support here at the Young Black and Gifted Podcast.
Appreciate it, fam. You already know.
All right, bro. Thank you, man.
No problem.
All right.
Underrated lady.
Yeah.
Underrated lady.
Young, black, and gifted. We do it for the culture.